Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with the first part in a new playthrough in the 1.0 version of Battle Brothers. We played about 10 episodes in our first playthrough on the highest difficulty, and we did alright at the beginning, and then we petered off pretty quickly, and things got ugly. So we're trying again on veteran difficulty, and I'm going to try to keep this one running as long as we possibly can. I think it'll go much smoother on the lower difficulty, but I do still have a lot of issues with some of the changes that they made in this update. I feel like they've made things needlessly tedious in some areas. Other areas require more balancing, but I'm looking forward to playing on something that's going to be a little bit more user friendly here. So obviously we've got a new party and new characters. We are now running around as the Birds of Hermes, and bonus points to you if you get that reference. Our new party consists of 8 men currently. Some of them are still lightly wounded. We already killed Hoggart the Weasel. I got all that junk out of the way, so we don't have to deal with any of the little tutorial stuff. We're going to get right into some gameplay. So we have Hans. He's our original spearman guy who joined us. We have Ulrich, who was hired on. He was originally a farmhand. We have Torhelm, who again was one of our original characters, and he's carrying the axe, filling a similar role to Raymond. Although I'm probably gonna go away from, I don't know, on this difficulty I can probably get away with a two-hander, but as we saw on the expert difficulty, having a guy without a shield is sort of like painting a giant target on his back. We have Maximilian, our swordsman here. I might give him a different weapon. It's just I happened to loot this in the fight against Hoggart the Weasel, so I went ahead and gave it to him. And then we have Callie, or Kale, or something like that, who is another one of our spearmen. In the back line, we have Gerulf with a pitchfork. We have Ike the Owl with a crossbow. And we have Mezco. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he's got a pitchfork as well. And so we've got a nice little party here. I will be doing custom names again, as we did in the previous playthrough. And you can see that there's a few in there already. I'll continue to take them as we go. Especially the ones, like the guys that we added right before we ended the last playthrough. They only got like one episode. I'll try to work you back in. Feel free to submit them again, or new characters. If you had characters in the last playthrough, feel free to submit new ones or resubmit the old ones. I prefer you do new ones just because, you know, it's fun to have new characters rather than continue to carry dead characters over. But if you prefer the same name, that's fine. I am gonna save these 3 guys for my like Patreon donors, since these are our original 3 characters, but everybody else is fair game unless they've already been named. And yeah, so we can pretty much just jump right into the gameplay here. We started in this village. There wasn't much here. There's a ton of pitchforks, though. I think there's still 3 in the market. So if we want more pitchforks, I guess we could buy them. I've got a decent amount of money, because I got a little bit for the first fight, and then obviously for defeating Hoggart you get a little bit more. And let's see. The closest... I'm a little bit concerned about this map because this mountain range completely splits a lot of the cities here. So we have to go all the way around it, or I guess we could cut this way if we wanted to. But Lansenburg is the nearest actual city, and so there's no work here for us until we unlock, or we make the renown threshold to work with these guys directly. But this place has like everything you could want. There's an armor there. There's a weaponsmith there. I got a bunch of good armor from them for a pretty decent price. Also, we can head north to Adlerfest and start working with this green like vineyard faction. Although where the rest of their stuff is, I guess they're kind of spread out. Yeah, they're like all over the place. And then we have the evil antlers faction up here. They're not evil, they're just black and white banner, but they're going to be to the northwest. And I think there's another faction. No, it looks like everybody's just kind of spread out diagonally like this. So anywho, let's go find some work. I know there's not going to be any work here because I've been there and there's a castle there. So maybe we'll head up here and see if there's a job there. Because that... Oh, no, it's got a castle too. Well then, we could head to Grubenfest. Nope, that's also a castle. So where can we find some work then? I guess we're gonna have to head all the way down this road and hope that there's a village over here. Or we could try cutting south and sailing to Tiefenstad. Let's do that, actually. We'll try to stick with one faction for a while and build up our relations with them. But I don't like this change that they've made to the way work functions in this game, because if you've been playing, I've been playing this game since it first released in early access for like 2 years now, and every update that they've made to the game, they've made work harder and harder to find. And so in this update, what they did is they took the work that was already available, which was fairly limited, and they cut it in half by basically taking any of the faction jobs and locking them off until you hit a certain renown point. So they effectively cut the work in half again after limiting it as far as they did. And I think that was an unnecessary change. I hope they reconsider that, or at least add more of these types of jobs so that you can sort of supplement that. Because what's been happening in my playthroughs, and again, I'm playing this on my own time and with you guys, what's been happening is that I more often lose from running out of money and jobs than I do from actually getting defeated by enemies. And that just doesn't seem like... I mean, maybe that was their intention, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like a good game balance mechanic. Like, you should be losing not because you literally can't find anything to do, but because you're getting defeated by better enemies. So that's one tweak I'd like to see, but otherwise, you know, I always enjoy this game, and I always look forward to playing it. So who do we want to pick up here? You are dirt cheap, but you're also really, really bad. Torbjorn. Sure, I'll hire you. He is a mason, so I believe he has the student trait, essentially. He gains XP a little bit faster. I think it's 15 versus 20, but you can stack it with the student trait or student perk that you get from leveling up. So we'll grab him. And Meinolf isn't too bad. We might snag him as well. Ike definitely has that trait as well. He's an apprentice, so he'll learn faster, and he's also dirt cheap. So that puts us at 10. We're probably going to hit 12 guys before we even have a chance to pick an ambition. I've had really good luck with hiring people. I think part of it is just the difficulty. There seems to be a lot more people available to hire and cheaper people. So, what are you good at? It looks like you are pretty good at melee, but you could become a decent range character. With guys like this, I like to set them up as like frontline skirmishers, so I'll give them like an axe, a shield, and some javelins or something like that, and let them sort of take advantage of both skills. For now, though, let's see. Yeah, he's sort of the same. He's really good at melee combat, but he could become good at range combat too. And a lot of these guys actually have stars in that. You're actually really well suited to melee defense. However, the person that named this guy, I think, requested that he not be a spearman. So I'll leave them there, but he would actually be a great spearman with that melee defense that he's got. And same goes for this guy. He's like all melee defense. Well, that makes this difficult because we've got a lot of frontline dudes at this point. I could also use some spears. Can we find some spears anywhere? I've had a hard time finding spears. There's one. That is so overpriced, though. Come on, man. That is crazy. Everything here is ridiculously expensive. I don't think we're going to buy anything here. But yeah, I need spears. I need spearmen. So, what else is here? There's a temple. There's a barber. You know what? While we're here, let's see. Torhelm, you have a good, like, Viking name, but you don't have a very good, like, Viking face. So, let's fix that. Something big and scraggly. Let's see. That's not bad. That could work. Let's change the color, though. I kind of like the blonde beard. We'll give him some, like, Viking-looking tattoos. There we go. That looks like a Torhelm to me. And then we got Ike. That is just... nothing is working for you there, pal. Ike the Owl. He's got to look intelligent. That's not an intelligent face. That could work. He looks really young, though. Maybe something like that. And we'll give him a little bit of a softer beard, but we'll give him a beard, and then that haircut has to go. Let's see, what's going to make him look a little bit older and wiser? That could work. Something like that. Okay. And what's this job that we've got here? Blah, blah, blah. 390 crowns. I want more. Okay, so he's not willing to budge on that. Drive off brigands. I can drive off brigands. That's easy. So I'll accept the contract. Unfortunately, nothing in the marketplace that we can afford. I mean, we can afford it, but it seems like a waste to pay double what it's worth. So, Torbjorn. I don't know what I'm going to give you right now. Or, I guess, in the long run. But for now, I will give you this. And try to just fit you in on the front line somewhere. And Ike. The other Ike. Here, let's do this. You're actually not terrible at range combat, and you do have potential to become very good at it. So I'm going to give you this bow, and we'll see what you can do with it. I believe your apron is stronger than this tunic, yeah. Alright then. I guess we're rolling with this party. Things are a little bit disorganized right now. We're going to try to get people like the right weapons in the right places. But we'll make do with what we got. So, oh, we walked right past it. Good thing I didn't attack it on my way here, because I would have not gotten paid for it. Alright, real quickly, one thing I want to mention is pickaxes. They're actually pretty decent weapons if you're facing enemies with armor. They're essentially the lowest hammer. I say hammer, they're obviously not a hammer, but they're in sort of like the hammer category. They're the lowest tier hammer that you can get, but they're still 150% effective against armor. So while they don't hit particularly hard, only 15 to 30, which is worse than like a militia spear, they are going to do an extra 50% damage to anybody, or to armor, essentially. So unless you're fighting like somebody naked, you know, you're actually going to be a little bit more effective with that. Blah, blah, blah. Back to full strength. We're already almost there, so we're going to do this one again. This seems like a pretty easy mission for us to complete. And they're all thugs. Okay. This is already starting off way easier than it was before. Alright, so we got some rough terrain here. I don't know how I want to engage these guys. I'm almost tempted to just get the hell away from this like rocky terrain. Maybe I'll move my guys like to here. That would allow them to engage me like right out of the gate though. So let's go here. We're gonna move a little bit. Just because I don't like being on this weird uneven terrain. I prefer to just completely steer clear of it if I can. I think you need to go there. And they're gonna come toward us, I imagine. Lately the enemies have been playing sort of interestingly. Again, the last playthrough we did was, I think, my first playthrough on the highest difficulty. So there was definitely some adjustments happening, but one thing I noticed is that they tended to protect their backline characters. Like, you would see a couple guys move in, and then a few guys would like back off and surround any archers that they had. These guys don't have any archers, so we're not going to see that here, but I found that interesting. How do we want to handle this? Because they kind of are just overloading this one side. I do not want to be standing next to that. I'm going to put you right there, and you're going to spear wall. And everybody else is going to get like up behind this group here. Unfortunately, the archers aren't really going to get much of an opportunity to attack, but we need to get everybody in position. You just need to get away at this point. Don't get locked in combat. Alright, here we go. Let's see, what are my chances here? 37's not bad, so we'll take a shot. How about you? It's probably going to be that guy as well. Yeah, 53. And you know what? Let's move you up a bit. Since they are coming at us from this way now, I think we'll sort of readjust. I'll put you here. You can go there. So I guess you can go here. That works for me. I'll have you back him up. I want you in that spot. We'll have you wait to see if they engage. And that looks good to me. Raise your shield maybe in case they attack you. They don't seem like they know what they want to do. Because I'm denying them the high ground basically. So, like, they can sit here if they want, but I'm not going to engage them on it. They either have to come down here or just eat a bunch of crossbow bolts and arrows. So he's going to wait. I'm also finding Spear Wall a lot less effective in this update, so I'm wondering if they nerfed it. Because it seems like the enemy just won't run into it anymore, which is something that they did on pretty much every difficulty before. Is if you had a Spear Wall, they would charge it no matter what. And so that seems to no longer be the case. Eventually they will run into it, so if you set it up, you still can get some mileage out of it. But it's definitely less effective than it was. So let's start targeting this guy. Oh. Well, that worked pretty well, didn't it? I think they're all thinking better of it after seeing that. Get your shield up in case they move in and try to hit you. They'll probably target him, though, since he doesn't have a shield. Yeah, they're being real cautious. Let's get you here. And you can just start pouring arrows over the top. Nicely done. 2 hits in a row, wow. That's something we were not seeing on the other difficulty. Let's have you move to there. I might jump him into that spot and have him spear wall. We're just gonna, like, basically surround these guys. He's still bleeding. Also, what I've decided to do now that bandages have been nerfed is I've given the backline guys bandages, but not the frontline guys, because I figure the frontline guys are going to be engaged in combat more often than not. And so the guys in the back usually have more of an opportunity to sort of run around and heal people. Which I wish they didn't do that. That's another thing I didn't like about this most recent update is that it seemed like an unnecessary change. It's hard enough to deal with bleeding, even with the ability to bandage yourself, because more often than not, people are still attacking you while you're trying to bandage yourself. And so that's something I think they could have done without. Alright, I guess let's just jump on these guys. We've got them pretty much dead to rights here. Nice, so his armor's destroyed. His health is nearly destroyed. Let's have you wait so we can move up some of these other guys. That looks good. Shoot him. Nicely done. I was hoping we could get the kill right there. Torhelm, step in there and maybe finish him off. Sweet. This poor guy. Yeah, that went pretty well. We got 2 level ups on 2 of our original characters there, and some decent loot actually, and some spears that we really needed. Well, I'm happy to take those. And let's see about getting those equipped. So, Hans, you leveled up. We are going to give him some hit points, some fatigue, and definitely some resolve. And then we're going to give him the student perk so that he levels up faster. Torhelm, you're going to get the same one, and then over here, some fatigue, some resolve. And rather than give him hit points, since his hit points actually aren't that bad to begin with, I'm going to give him some melee skill, because for him, the most important thing is that he makes contact with that axe as often as possible, because he's like our home run hitter. We need him to put that thing to use, and if he's constantly missing, it's not going to help us. So, let's see here. We need a couple more spears on the front line. So, Torbjorn, you should probably... I mean, you could be a decent spearman. He's got potential for melee defense, but he's also got potential for range, so I like giving him the ability to skirmish. But it seems like we've got a lot of people like that that are sort of doubling. Maximilian, you're actually an ideal spearman, so I might swap names or something so that you don't have to carry around a spear if you don't want to. Yeah, so let's put him maybe in Max's spot. Actually, wait. Here's what we'll do. So you're going to be... I do not remember how to spell that. Hang on. Torbjorn, okay. Alright, so Torbjorn. I don't know if I spelled that right. It looks right. And you're going to be a spearman now. And you are going to be Maximilian. I spelled that wrong. And so you don't have to be a spearman. How about that? And I'll give you the falchion, since that's a little bit better than the pickaxe, at least in terms of raw damage. Hans, you're going to move over a little bit. Ulrich, you're going to move over. We'll put you here, I suppose. And so that means we just need like one more guy on this flank, and then one more guy in the back line, and we're pretty much at our normal alignment, essentially. I don't know if I want him in the middle, but for now that's fine. So we just need to hire somebody. We got the gear for him. Actually, a flail. A flail would be pretty awesome. But whom do I give the flail to? I guess I could give it to Ulrich, because that is going to hit harder than what he has. So we'll see how that... We'll see what kind of mileage we get out of that. Pickaxes are not bad weapons, though. That is something I want to point out. Like, they're not bad weapons. They're really great against armor. In this case, though, we're facing against fairly easy enemies. I don't think armor penetration is the most critical thing for us at the moment. Also, since you're on the front line, let's get you some better armor. That looks pretty good to me. So, let's go collect our pay all the way back down here. And I believe we actually had a name request for somebody with a flail, so I'll try to take a look at that between this episode and the next episode and get him renamed. So 390, and they should have cheaper prices now that they're no longer being raided. Nope, they're still overpriced, but a little bit less so, at least. Another padded surcoat wouldn't be a terrible idea. We'll get rid of this. I don't mess with bucklers. Honestly, they're not that bad. Like, they're really not that bad. They're not a terrible alternative to the regular shields. But if you know what a buckler is, they don't really make sense in the context of how they work in this game. They're way too effective against ranged stuff. Even +5. It should be +0, honestly. Buckler is like the size of a dinner plate. It's just for basically parrying melee attacks. And so it should be like +10 melee defense and like 0 range defense. But yeah, in terms of this game, they're not a bad alternative to shields. Especially early on, if that's all you can get your hands on. Let's get some more bandages while we're here. And the tools are way too expensive. Everything here is too expensive. So we'll be on our way. Let's see, where do we want to head? We're kind of isolated here. These villages are all really spread out, and I don't like that. Lutendock, I guess we're headed there since I can cut across the land to get there. Because going all the way around is not going to be a fun trip. I mean, it might be a fun trip, but it's going to be a pretty lengthy one. So we'll go here, and then that'll allow us to just kind of hop along down the road for a while, and we can hit like all 5 of these in a row. Maybe we'll just stay along this road for a while. As long as they're not castle towns, we can find plenty of work. So there's a job here. Let's see what this one's about. Whatever it is, I want more for it. Yeah, he's not willing to budge. Oh boy. Obtain the Staff of Golden Harvest at the abandoned stronghold for 390 crowns. I will accept. And I might wait until daylight just to see what they have on offer here. There we go. We can maybe see if they have anybody to hire. What are you? You're a fisherman. Got a day tailor right there. He's not bad, actually. Well, he's probably pretty bad at 7, but he's cheap, so we could probably put him to use. Alternatively, we could go for the fisherman, but we're paying an awful lot for that net and that knife, neither of which he's going to be using. Kettleman, I think I can get some mileage out of you. Like, as long as you can hold a spear. Actually, not a bad pickup. He's got potential. His starting stats are not very good, but he could actually become a fairly decent character. So for now, you're going to be a spearman, but we might change that because you actually could become a very competent range character. Either as an archer, just a skirmisher in the front line. Maybe even throw him in place of one of these guys so that he can throw javelins from the back line and then switch to the pitchfork. But for now, he's fine where he is. Let's get rid of those rags and that knife. And let's see. That's not a bad piece of armor right there. That looks good. And the tools actually aren't too expensive here. Let's get you outfitted in that armor. Oh, I already had one. Whoops. Well, wear the one that's not beat up. Now then, Torhelm, you need better headgear. And then everybody in the front line wearing a hood is going to get a cap. There. Moving up in the world a little bit. Ike, you're going to get a hood at the very least, and those clothes are not particularly great, so at least this is a slight upgrade. I'm going to save that for, you know what? 35. Okay, you get that one, and you can have his. That works for me. We'll sell off his apron there, and I think we're ready to go fight. Yeah. Anything else? Here I kind of can't see because of my microphone, but yeah, it looks like we've got everything we'll need there. There's another barber too. So in this playthrough, I might, if I name your character and you want him to look a certain way, I don't know if I want to do that though, because then I'll have to take time to run around and find the barbers. Maybe. I'll think about it. But yeah, let's head to wherever we're heading to, which is out here. That seems kind of far. Like, that should be a job for Otterndorf or something, or maybe Hermenshof. But like, that is... Like, how do you guys even know about that? Alright, so we are at the abandoned stronghold, where we're going to end the episode and pick back up in the next one with whatever sort of enemies we can expect to fight here. I don't know if it's going to be undead or bandits. I would lean toward undead given the description of the mission, but it could go either way. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Battle Brothers with you, and I look forward to seeing you back here for the next episode.